Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Psychology Eats. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time visiting the channel, thank you. I thank you for stopping by. I thank you for clicking onto the video and hearing what I have to say, honey. I'm reporting from the car. And I also hope this video finds you in great mental health. And so I decided to do a quick video because someone left me an email. Hey, girl. Regarding Monique. Hi, Monique. Monique from, that we met Monique through, Atlanta Street interviews. And Monique told us her story about how Marcus had did an interview with her. And then he asked her to go back to his place, asked her how much she would charge for a sexual interlude. She gave him a price. He tried to jip. He attempted to jip her out of it. I think he ended up jipping her out of the money for the sexual exchange or whatever. And so Monique lives on the street. Monique is, I believe, has left Atlanta. I'm not quite sure where Monique is from or what her, like, the background is of Monique. But someone left me an email because they were challenging my diagnosis of Monique. And so they were wondering, and this is not the first time I've had questions like this, how could I diagnose someone that I've never met? And so here's the answer to that question. I can give someone a preliminary diagnosis without meeting them, because diagnoses are really made up. Diagnosis, we come to diagnosis, someone's diagnosis based on the way they think and their behavior. And so I don't watch all of Monique's videos, but I've watched enough and I've heard her speak enough, and that my conclusion was that she has paranoid schizophrenia. And I believe Monique has paranoid schizophrenia. Someone challenged in that email, I think she said, well, maybe she's schizoaffective. Maybe she is. But I don't think she is. But she could be. You know, in our field, we change diagnoses all the time. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. In my position, I see the clients before the psychiatrist does. And so I give a preliminary diagnosis based on what they report to me, and then based on the DSM-5. And so then the psychiatrist or psychologist will give the final diagnosis. I've been doing this for 30 years. Usually the psychologist or the psychiatrist agrees with me. And we go from there. And if they don't, they say, you know, maybe they believe it's something else. And okay. You know, usually within the same, you know, family of diagnosis, whatever. And so, because a lot of times we'll use unspecified because we're not quite sure. Obviously, I have never met Monique. So, you know, maybe if I honestly, I don't need to meet Monique to know that Monique has schizophrenia, in my opinion. Hi, Monique. And based on some things that she's said, her paranoia would lead me to believe that you can have multiple diagnoses. So the person in the email mentioned PTSD. Okay, she can have PTSD along with bipolar. She can have a multitude of diagnoses. The bottom line is that these diagnoses, whether it's schizoaffective, depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, they need to be treated with medication. And I don't believe she's on any medication. If she was, we would see a improvement in her behavior and her communication and just the way she thinks. I mentioned in that on my live that she should take Invega. Invega is probably the best medication on the market at this point. There are some others for people with schizophrenia, because it's an injection. And oftentimes people with schizophrenia are paranoid about medications, and they don't take them because they think they're poison or whatever. And so the Invega shots, and this is not a promo for Invega. I just seen it work miracles. I've seen Clozaril work miracles for people who are schizophrenic. And so that's why I put that out there, that if Monique was on Invega or Clozaril, that we would most likely see a different Monique. And I believe that. Am I trying to embarrass her or dox her or HIPAA her? No, she's not my client. I'm a reaction channel. And so I make reactions on what I see. Have I ever had an analysis with Marcus? No, right? But I've called him a sexual deviant, right? I'm basing that on how he thinks and what he's done. And so that's why I could say, yeah, he meets the criteria for a sexual deviant. So with that being said, for all of those junior psychiatrists, psychologists, mental health professionals, I really don't care if you really are a mental health professional and you got more time in the field than I do. You still not going to tell me what to do on my channel. You know, I've been on this channel for 4 years diagnosing people. And most of the time I'm right. And so if you think you can do it better, and I'm not throwing I'm being shady. That's to anybody. If you think you can do what I do better, then do it. Then do it. If I'm diagnosing somebody and talking about somebody's diagnosis in a video, they're not my client, right? I would never, ever share a client's business on this app or anywhere else outside of my office space. So go and check in the psychology sector. I'm over there too, right? Go in the psychology sector. We do this all day long. This is what we do, right? I bring my psychology knowledge over. I started like in the mukbang sector, which is why I call myself Psychology Eats, because the plan was I was going to eat and talk mukbang and talk about psychology. And then it just went into me talking about people that I see on this app or, you know, celebrities or whatever. So it just evolved into what it evolved into. But however, my foundation for my channel is psychology and mental health. And I know what the F I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. Okay? All right? All right? I teach up and coming mental health professionals, psychologists, psychiatrists, police officers, guidance counselors. Come through my classroom. I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. Do I know everything? Absolutely effing not. That's why I have supervisors. That's why I have supervision. That's why I process things with other professionals to keep me on my game, to make sure that I'm in the right, you know, I'm thinking the right thing about whatever I'm dealing with. Oh, y'all bug. So, anywho, and with that being said, y'all, Jesus. Y'all, hold on. So yeah, I'm constantly evolving in this field. I'm constantly learning new things about diagnoses, about medications, about what can help people to live a better life and to be happy. Girl, because happy feels so good. Ooh, ooh, I can feel it in my bones, baby. Good night.